Welcome to day 5 of my ceramic residency. I started off the morning with some practice of drawing and painting with the blue pigment underglaze. This is a bit square, so right now I'm using a pencil to draw the outline of where I plan on painting. Then I'm using a narrow paintbrush, and this is the blue pigment paint. This pigment likes to settle onto the bottom of the container, so every time I use it, I have to stir a little bit before I use it. So right now I'm just loading the brush and then drawing an outline on the lid of this container. The lid is sitting on a turntable, so it's easier for me to draw the outline because this lid is a circle. The clay that they use is Japanese porcelain clay that fires to content in a gas kiln. This type of clay is different from the Canadian porcelain clay because they use their natural stone to make their porcelain. This is still the first week of my residency, and I'm still getting the hang of things and practicing a lot using their blue pigment underglaze because I found that the white and the blue contrast looks really beautiful after it's finished glaze firing. I'll be using a clear glaze to glaze this item to show off my design underneath. I really look forward to next week where I'll be getting a proper demo on how to paint using this underglaze, using the traditional Japanese painting technique. So this week mostly I am just experimenting and trying and getting used to the clay and the paint here. Painting was basically my whole morning. Then in the afternoon I get to do a factory tour, seeing what the factory is like. These are some of the items that they make in the kiln factory. A lot of overglazed decals and also the painting as well. Many of these items are slip cast, so they've got a lot of plaster molds for slip casting and for producing a lot of the same items. Here's an example of the clay shrinkage from bisque to glaze fire to after decal fire, and there's also an example of porcelain stone. Each craftsman has a very specific job in the factory, so this craftsman is doing slip casting here, and these are the slip cast item underneath the plastic cover. And this is an example of a very intricate mold, multi-part mold. This is one of their most popular design, which is a bird soy sauce. I just thought this is super cute. And the design of the soy sauce is just so smart, and there are so many different styles as well. This is the pressure cast machine where the slip is pushed up to these molds from underneath the machine here. Here the pipes showing where the slip will come from. In the factory, they also have a really big drying room for drying out plaster molds and leather hard items, so they are ready for the next day. On the shelves are plaster molds on the bottom and slip cast item waiting to get into the kiln. The factory is divided into sections, and each section has a different purpose. Here is a load of items getting ready for bisque firing because they are all stacked on top of each other, and they get to roll into this giant kiln for bisque firing. On the bottom are underglazed item where they will also go into the bisque firing so that the color are set before they get the glazes and go for glaze firing. This is one of the craftsman's table with the brushes that she uses and the blue pigment paint as well. There are so many different types of brushes, and each of them has their own purpose in painting. And the factory itself is so big. They have 4 kilns in the back, but only 2 of them are working right now. Here is the look of what the kiln looks like inside. This is a gas kiln. It fires to Kong 10. When they finish loading the items, it gets rolled into one of these kilns for firing. At the back is a tunnel kiln that they no longer use anymore. And that concludes the end of the factory tour. After the tour, I got my overglazed decal pieces back, and this is what they look like. And that concludes the end of my day 5.